Does anyone have a question?
I have a question, Stuart. I've been reading Rudy's book, Spiritual Cannibalism, for about the 20,000th time. It's so interesting. I didn't understand it. I still don't fully. But he talks in it at a certain level when you're pretty grounded and you can work in time and space, you need to know that you will be entering the void and that that's not a comfortable experience. And above that is creation. And could you please explain that more to me?
Chris, I talk about it all the time. I mean, look, we operate in a conceptualized world. Please, Elaine, will you please sit still? Elaine, will you please sit still? We live and operate, almost every day of our lives in a conceptualized world. Material, economic, money, this, that, it's all conceptualized. It's all tangible, manifested energies that we see and we think is real, and as soon as a person develops a chakra system inside themselves, and the energy can move through every chakra, to the base of the spine, activate the kundalini, they're grounded inside, the heart is open, the mind is quiet, et cetera, et cetera. It allows the energy to move into other levels of reality. Mm-hmm. One of them is dream reality, imagination. Beyond dream, beyond imagination, beyond the Bardo realms, all this, the astral traveling realms. We really begin to evolve into higher levels of time and space. Everything fills time and space. Conceptualism fills time and space. You understand? Whatever it is, there's time. We have a certain amount of time on the earth. And in that time, there's space. We fill that space usually with our ego, our mind, what we think we want to do, blah, blah, blah. And we really clutter up the entire energy in time and space with images of ourselves. So what Rudy's talking about is simply, burning, transforming images, conceptualized images of ourselves, things that we think, things that have to do with ego and mind and ambition, that we will trample over other people to attain money, to attain, sexual things, et cetera, et cetera. All of that stuff fills time and space. And when we manage to transform all of that stuff by drawing it to the base of the spine, and literally allowing the kundalini to burn it up, it gives us the ability to enter a different realm of time and space. A void, as Rudy said, it's really a void. Scares the shit out of everyone. There's nothing to grab onto. There's nothing tangible to grab onto. We can't grab onto some vision we have of the money we're going to make. We can't, all the stuff that people grab onto. So we enter a void. On the other side of that void is energy that transcends time and space. That goes into the level of creation, as Rudy calls it, creation, which is energy that moves through the universe to a place that transcends time and space. And basically, it's a state of enlightenment. In order to attain that level, you have to be really nothing inside. You can't be full of yourself. You can't be full of ego, mind, all this tension that, makes people rabid for the things they're going to do in life, I mean, most people are trapped in that world. We live in a completely crazy world. And it's crazy because people are trapped in that whole level of materialism and conceptualization.
Mhm.
So what the meditation is about is building a system that can transform conceptualization, and allow us to attain a state of nothingness inside. That state, will allow the Kundalini to rise and take us into a whole different level of time and space, which Rudy calls the void. On the other side of that void is another transcendental level that takes us to a state of enlightenment.
Wow.
No, I'm not sure this can be clear. This is something the human mind cannot understand. It's something that you have to evolve into and grow into. It's something that as you build an inner life and as the chakra system develops, these things unfold. This level of consciousness unfolds. And it becomes as practical as obsessions with material things,
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is, you don't live with a lot of fear. We're afraid what we're going to become, in 10 more years, in 20 more years. You really enter a space where you have to be free of all of that and be nothing inside to allow your consciousness to truly connect with what's infinite in the universe, with God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it. I hope that's clear.
Thank you. It's much clearer. I'm sure when I get to that point, I'll recognize it from your instruction. So thank you, Stuart.
Just have patience, Chris.
Okay. You know how impatient I am.
Have patience. It comes, but you gotta have patience.
Thank you very, very much.
Does anyone else have a question? All of this is contingent upon something I spoke about this afternoon in the in-person class. And it's contingent upon a human being's need to grow. And if your need is voracious inside, if you're really hungry to become a child of God, in this lifetime, then these things, the things I talk about begin to take place. You start transforming all the impediments, all the ego aspects, all of that stuff that just does nothing but block the pathway to spiritual enlightenment. But the need has to be really deep and real. It can't be something that you just kind of fool yourself. Well, yeah, I really need a spiritual, but it has to go deeper than that, because the need has to manifest in how you function during the day, what you do during the day. And if that becomes a manifestation of your need to get to God, you'll learn how to surrender everything. And surrendering everything doesn't mean we don't live in the world. We got to live here, We're born on the earth to learn how to live on the earth. But we live here without all the attachments, without all these delusions of what's going to make us happy. The next, $2.5 million is going to make us happy, The next relationship, the next house, the next fur coat, the 6,000 pair of shoes, all of these things that people walk around, believing are going to make them happy, and they never do. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? I hope all this is clear, you know, because the reality of it is it gets back to the responsibility that each and every one takes for their spiritual life. And if the need inside us is real, then the work will be put in to develop a system inside that enables us to do it. It's the work that enabled Rudy to do it. It's the work that enabled me to, I don't know if I've done it yet, but it certainly gets clearer and clearer to me every day. Does anyone else have a question? You know, Rudy always told me, he said that people have a hard time with spiritual practice because it's really dealing with intangible things. It's very easy to lock oneself into making money, to, you know, clothing, the cars, the this, it's all tangible stuff, material stuff. Spirit is based on intangibles. And this is something the mind will never comprehend, but it's something the heart will comprehend. And when the heart comprehends this, it will fill itself with joy, love, and it'll allow all of this energy to strengthen us inside. So the mind becomes a tool that opens the chakra below the navel. It's a surgical instrument. The heart, gratitude to God, gratitude to life, it takes us to a whole other dimension. And the only thing with the mind is that ultimately we get wisdom if we do this. We get real knowledge, knowledge that comes not from what the intellect can comprehend, but knowledge that comes from a source that is infinite in the universe. Does anyone else have a question? And just an addendum, that knowledge, that wisdom is inside everybody that is sitting in this class. In fact, it's inside everybody that lives on the earth. You know, the question always becomes, do we do the work to tap it? And then if we don't do the work, you have only yourself to blame. You know, you can't go blaming, you know, inflation and the economics and wars and all the shit that goes on in this world, you know? Because that knowledge, that wisdom exists inside every human being. And that wisdom will give you the ability to live your life in a conscious way. Does anyone else have a question? Great question, Chris.
Thank you.
Anyone else, or I should say, great question, Rudy. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, if there are no more questions, there'll be meditation tomorrow evening. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you. I say it after every class, I'll say it again. You know, I'm very grateful to every single one of you. Your presence here has taught me so much in the last 2 years that I can't even begin to humble myself and say, you know, thank you. So God bless you all for being here, for being part of this. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
God bless you, Stuart. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stuart.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good night.
Night.